Hello everyone, and welcome back to another fan-made Elite Specialization video. In this video, I'll be going over a medium armor Elite Specialization I have made. The subjects I'll be covering include weapon types and skills, utility skills, profession mechanics or changes, and finally ending on minor traits and a sampling of some of the major traits. Be sure to check out my other Elite Specialization videos in the playlist, and be on the lookout for more. I'm finally doing the medium armor. We've gotten done with the light armor. Now it's on to the medium professions. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my Ranger Elite Specialization, which I've titled the Hunter. Of course, let's start with the new weapon. So with the Ranger, I've decided to give them the rifle, and this is just emphasizing more of a long-range playstyle. Ranger, it's in the name, range, and we had a last Elite Specialization with more melee focused with the dagger, so I wanted to bring it back to more of a longer ranged playstyle to maybe, you know, coincide with the longbow. So this is the rifle, and its focus is on ripping boons from enemies, just to make sure that you can like live naturally, tapping back into the natural soil of Tyria and just getting rid of the excess magic. Anyway, we're gonna start with the auto attack. I've created a controlled shot. Fire a bullet to damage enemies, and you deal more damage against foes with no boons. This will pierce 1200 range. Pretty basic. The next rifle skill 2, is Bestial Marker. Fire a bullet dealing damage to your target while empowering your pets to deal more damage. Keyword pets. Plural. Hint, hint. But yes, this is a basic shot, and it's mostly a buffer to your pets. The spec emphasizes and focuses on your pet management. Skill number 3, we have Bayonetta Slash. Slash your foes with within range of your bayonet, dealing damage and gaining fury. You will also gain might for each foe you successfully hit. So fury application is guaranteed, but you'll get 2 might with a possibility of 6 might, because it can strike 3 targets in melee range. This skill will flip over into evading shot. You will fire a critically striking shot while evading backwards. Pretty basic. Your third skill is a little bit of boon application to yourself while having the ability to evade. It's like melee, just in case people get in your face, and you don't want them to get in your face. For your fourth ability, you have Pure Scoped Snipe. You line down your sights, firing a bullet to destroy boons and leaving them vulnerable. With each foe hit, 2 boons will be destroyed, and they will be struck with 5 vulnerability and, of course, damage. This shot has 2 ammo, so you can use it twice. I wanted to have this added effect because with rifle in the past, say with engineer or warrior, some of their skills feel more so bad to use, but since they've actually given ammo charges to the warrior's rifle, it's felt much more satisfying and competent. So I wanted to have just a little bit of an additional shot with this. This will have a 6-second cooldown in between each shot though. So, and then my 5th skill is Hunter's Wrath. You fire a bullet in a direction of intense power. This attack will knock back enemies while granting might to your pets. 3 might to your pets, and this will pierce. It's more of like a concussive blast. I wanted like you fire a bullet and like a kind of like a wave of air pressure kind of, you know, drags behind it, because it's just so powerful. But that was my imagination. And that was the rifle. Just pretty more of a basic weapon. I wanted to have something different to the longbow that is able to manage other players' boons, or enemies' boons, while, you know, buffing yourself in terms of giving you a little bit of fury and a little bit more might. Now for the pet mechanic. I've decided to title this the Pet Menagerie. So we've had the Druid, which didn't really do a lot with the pet. You had reduced attributes for the pet, with one of its recent changes. We had the Soul Beast, which allows you to merge with your pet if you don't want your pet out. And now I've decided that we need a elite spec that will allow you to have your second pet out at all times. So this is the pet menagerie. It allows the hunter to use both of their pets at once. Your new F5 ability is used to activate the second pet's ability. There is a shared cooldown of 6 seconds in between each of your pet's abilities. I didn't want the possibility of you spamming both of your abilities at the same time. I wanted there to be a little bit more of a thought process behind it. So having that delay will force players in this fan-made elite spec to manage and plan out which pet abilities you're going to be using. So that was the profession mechanic. And yeah, you're going to have both your pets out. This could prove to be very interesting. I think I would like to see a ranger spec that would allow you to use 2 pets at once permanently. I think it'd be really cool. So I decided to make it. Next, we're going to be talking about the utility skills. I decided to grant tricks to hunters. It's not necessarily survival skills, which improve their own survivability, but they are more in between of defensive and offensive. They have more of a surprising mechanic, one would say, hence the trick. So for the healing skill, we have Last Drop. You heal yourself and prepare to take an emergency healing flask to turn the tide of battle. If you were to take fatal damage and during this effect's duration, you will heal yourself for a greater amount, and you will also heal your pets. Healing at first is pretty low, but then if you were to take fatal damage within those 4 seconds, you and your pets will receive a much bigger heal. The initial heal does not affect the pets. Next trick is Hidden Whistle on a 60-second cooldown. This is your stun break. So this trick will break stuns while destroying boons on nearby enemies, and you heal your pets. Your healing to your pets is increased if they are defeated. So you know how your pets will not die and you won't revive them because they changed that long, long ago, but you will have to wait for them to restore health over their, defeated state. This will improve and quicken their recovery time. So I wanted this ability just to, get your pets back up and running more so. However, it is a 60-second cooldown. The healing effect could be its own skill. However, I wanted this boon rip added to it just to give it an extra layer and once again take that more neutral stance of being defensive and offensive. So this skill will also rip retaliation and protection to 3 enemies in a 210 radius. You can read the tooltip. Pretty self-explanatory. Next trick is Hunter's Preparation. Another trick, of course, you will breathe the air from a direction, revealing stealth to enemies. You also grant might to your pet's baseline, and you give yourself a damage bonus baseline. The reveal is a cone in a 450 radius, similar to the Tempest Warhorn fire 5th skill, where the road of flames, but this is in a bit more of a cone shape. You'll reveal enemies. This could be used as more of just a self buff and pet buff to gain more might to your pets, and of course give yourself a 15% damage bonus for 5 seconds. Pretty self-explanatory once again. Next, I had a very tricky time naming this. I've decided to name it Evasive Bear Snare. I could have done Bear Trap, but I didn't want there to be confusion with the existing traps on Ranger. So it's a bear snare. So creative. The next time you evade, you will place a bear snare at your previous location. Enemies that will walk over this bear snare have boons destroyed and are immobilized. This is similar to like a thief's caltrops. When you dodge, you will place a little field of caltrops. However, this is more of a trick. It's basically a bear trap. Someone will have to trigger it before it activates. Moderate damage of 400. It will remove swiftness, vigor, and stability, and will also immobilize them for 2 seconds. I wanted them to be ripped of defensive boons. because this is really the only skill that does that. So I wanted that option. Has 2 charges, 2 ammo, so you can place 2 at any given time, and only 2. You can't have more than 2 up. So if you use this skill again, of course, the first one that you placed will be, destroyed and will be replaced. Your next trick, and I think this is the final trick, is Wild Medicine. You'll take a medicinal pill, you and your pets gain Alacrity, and then you will receive Barrier when boons are applied to you over this effect's duration. I didn't iron out a mistake. I should have had a duration, basic duration of 5 seconds. But the Alacrity is on use, Alacrity for you and your pets for 5 seconds. And you will get Barrier whenever you gain boons. 180 on yourself, but an improved Barrier on your pets of 210. Nothing super, super strong. However, if you do have like Mesmers or Guardians just bursting you with boons, or you happen to take a couple skills that grant you more boons, you'll be able to get a lot of Barrier. I could see this and We Heal as 1 being very useful. And then for the elite, we have Master of the Kingdom on 120-second cooldown. Final elite trick, you will blow a piercing whistle to call forth a random pet for duration. So you'll be having 3 pets out. Yay! This skill will flip over, allowing the use of this pet's action ability. So it's a random pet, however, a random pet out of a pool of 3. So you could possibly get a black bear, a snow leopard, or a river drake. The black bear being more tanky, the snow leopard being more offensive, and the river drake having more AoE capabilities. Of course, their abilities will once again flip over and be able to be used in your elite skill. And additionally, all pets gain stability when this ability or this elite skill is activated. So your 2 standard pets that are always out will gain 2 seconds of stability, including the pet that you summon from Master of the Kingdom. Black Bear will use Enfeebling Roar, Snow Leopard, Icy Pounce, and or River Drake with Lightning Breath. I really like this elite. I don't know, I really like the flavor that this could provide. Having a 3rd temporary beast animal that would probably receive all benefits from your traits. Or you could, balance this a little bit better to say this doesn't gain effects to certain beast mastery traits or other general ranger traits. But that was my collection for the trick utilities for the hunter. Now we're moving on to the traits. So this is my minor trait. We have Purity in the Wilds. You deal more damage against foes with no boons, 8%. The rifle already has a couple mechanics where you deal more damage against foes with no boons. However, I wanted this minor trait to be an umbrella trait for other weapons that you might be using. Maybe you're not using a rifle. Maybe you want to use a greatsword or an axe or a sword. So this will give you an 8% bonus. And then we're going into the master traits, the major traits. So 1 sample of an adept. I'm not doing the second adept. However, we're going to be going into the actual major traits. I'm talking too much. The first adept trait for your master is Excited Destruction. Your pet's beast abilities will remove a boon if it strikes an enemy. Removing a boon from an enemy applies vulnerability. 5 vulnerability for 5 seconds. I wanted this to be a bit more of a shorter duration vulnerability. This is a adept, so it's not supposed to be super powerful. It will only rip 1 boon. And this is one of the traits that further enhances your interactions with your pets. The next trait is your major master trait, and this one affects your utility skills. Your trick skills have a reduced cooldown of 20%. You will also, I love getting text messages. You will also gain health and the hunter's preparation effect when activating a trick. So the reduced cooldown is baseline all the time. Your health and the hunter's preparation effect your healing and your Hunter's Preparation effect, I should say, will trigger every 3 seconds. So you can't just spam your tricks to gain just multiple, like, long duration effect of Hunter's Preparation, and you can't spam it to gain a lot of healing. You'll have that 3-second window where this trait will not activate. So, you know, plan out those 3 seconds, or try to keep track and get a feel for it. And so that trait was, you know, affecting yourself. Maybe you don't want to go with the pet traits, but this Grandmaster is once again affecting your pets. Rewarded companionship. There's no longer a shared cooldown between your pet's beast abilities. Remember that 6 seconds? That would be gone if you select this trait. And then additionally, for every boon you or your pet removes, your pets will gain might. And then might power. Your might's power is also stronger on your pets. It's kind of like a 2-functioning trait. You know, you have your shared cooldown reduced, and then if you remove a boon on any enemy, your pet will instantly gain 2 might for 10 seconds, and now might on them is improved. So this is a very power-oriented trait. And overall, I wanted this elite specialization to have more power be in your pets and not necessarily yourself. But granted, I haven't made other traits, but, you know, might could be kind of boring. One might argue. So I think it'd be really cool if you had like another master trait that focused on the actual pets to do more damage in a more creative and innovative way. So this is more just, you know, basic might. And I think that was pretty much it. As for the pets themselves, of course, new pets would be added with an expansion. I would like to see maybe one ranged pet and one ranged healing pet, because we don't have a supportive pet, and I think having that one supportive pet would be really cool for, say, the druid. That's just me. But definitely a ranged damaging pet, one pet where it is a bit more tanky, one pet where maybe it does more critical strikes, and then of course, you know, maybe have like one condition pet or something. Yeah. I wanted this, in my concluding thoughts, I wanted this elite specialization to be focused on, once again, range damage with the rifle, returning the enemy players to a more natural state by ripping their boons, and having that emphasis be on your second pet and managing both of your pets, their cooldowns, the shared cooldown in between the use of both of their abilities so you can't spam them, and then having your utilities be more situational in combat uses. And then the traits, having that line dedicated to your pets, having a line dedicated to your actual self-sustain and your self-enhancement with your trick trait, and possibly having a third line focused on a little bit more personal survival in terms of conditions applied to you. But of course, your Grandmaster I've chosen was another pet-focused trait. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like the video if you liked it, comment down below your thoughts on this elite specialization I have made, and subscribe for more videos. This video is out on Patreon early, so if you'd like to go support me over there, I do have a Patreon. Wink, wink. And then next up, I think I'm going to be doing my Thief elite specialization. So see you guys in that video, and hope you guys are staying healthy, and take care, everyone.